Hello everyone, welcome back to the third tier list for Spyro. This time we're doing Spyro 3, Spyro Year of the Dragon. Actually, I couldn't find just a good tier list just for Spyro 3 by itself, and even the ones that had all of them, they didn't have any like labels or names, so they were a little hard to distinguish. So what I just did is I made one myself. Luckily it wasn't too hard because from the Spyro 3 LP I still have had those images with the with the level portals and names still on there. So I could reuse those. I was actually pretty happy about that. So it's now this tier list is publicly available for other people too. The only not so great thing about it is that the hub worlds don't look so great because they're a wide image and not a square image, but that's something I could probably do it, but just I wanted to do this video, didn't have too much time, so I just wanted to get right into it. So let's just do that. We'll do pretty much chronologically. They're mostly like that. Starting with Sunrise Spring. Now, Sunrise Spring is a little bit hard. You know, as if you watch the previous ones, you know I like the Homeworlds quite a lot. Sunrise Spring, as I think, is good, but I don't think it's nearly at the levels as most of the other Homeworlds are at. Sunrise Spring is nice, a nice start, but it's not that special, you know. If you compare it to Summer Forest, I think Summer Forest is just better. Yeah, I don't think it's that fantastic. So I'll just put it in the B tier because it's still a fun homeworld, but that's kind of it. Then we'll do the other homeworlds later. We'll start do Sheila's Elp next. Sheila's Elp is like the all the other character levels. They're pretty short. So Sheila's is pretty short. However, I think it's an A tier level because it's the first level you're really doing something different. The first level you're really playing as a different character. So the levels is also built differently. The levels very built very vertically because of Sheila's high jump and different mechanics. So I think that and that aspect, it's just a really nice, interesting level. If the entire game was like that, yeah, maybe not, but I think that's quite solid. Sunny Villa, I think that's a B tier. Well, B tier is the level itself is, I think, is fun. It's like it's kind of like Town Square. Like I think it's a good level. I mean, you know, there are not really that many bad levels. But the skateboarding is actually really cool, and that makes me want to put it to A tier. The skateboarding wants to make me put it to A tier. If it wasn't for the skateboarding, it would be a B tier level for sure. Cloud Spires is a fun level. I don't know if it sets anything apart. I think it's just a good B tier level. Yeah, it's fine. Molten Crater. Molten Crater. I don't know about Molten Crater. I don't think it would rank higher than a B level. It does have supercharge, but it has like the door locked by money bags that you kind of can't avoid. That makes me angry. It does have the cool skip where you can go into the Sergeant Bird thing early, but the Sergeant Bird thing itself is not that fun. The level itself is, oh, I don't know. I for some reason I want to put it in C tier. Like it's not like it's a bad level, but I don't know. That's my gut feeling. Let's just go with my gut feeling. Seashell Shore. Say that 10 times fast. I think it's a little bit similar to Molten Crater. I think I'll put it in B tier because the Sheila thing is fun. The Sheila thing is fun, and I think that overall the water mechanics is not too bad. It's kind of a fun. It is a fun level, fun bright level. Then we have Mushroom Speedway. It's the first speedway you do with the extra the race mechanic. The race mechanic itself is not spectacular, and it's more or less the same thing every time. I want to put it in C tier because I still like the aesthetic there. But yeah, the speedway is not that great. Buzz's Dungeon, the boss fight, I think it's a simple fight. But an effective fight. It's a simple but effective fight, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. Like, there's not really that much to it, but yeah, it's kind of fun. Then we have Midday Gardens. Midday Gardens, I think. Oh, that's a little bit hard one. I kind of want to put it in A tier because it's a little bit bigger than Sunrise Spring, and it's a nice homeworld. But it's also it's aesthetic wise, you know, like Sunrise and Midday, like this. It's not that big of a difference aesthetically. I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me that greatly, but I think because it's a homeworld, I'll put it in A, but it's not really my favorite or anything. Enchanted Towers is a really cool level. You know, the skateboarding. Honestly, I'm thinking about putting it in S just because of the skateboarding section. That's really cool. Like, it's just super fun. And the Sergeant Bird thing where you can do the entire level as Sergeant Bird and run around, that's also pretty cool. The level itself is pretty memorable, you know, all those towers. Yeah, I think it's a pretty darn good level. Yeah. Maybe I'll put a lot of things in S tier. Maybe I should move everything a little bit lower. I don't know. I'm thinking now, because the next one coming up here is Spooky Swamp. Spooky Swamp, I love the aesthetic. The haiku thing is kind of gimmicky, but okay. Like, you know, it's I love the aesthetic. I kind of love the swamp thing. What I don't like is the escort mission with the blind twins. I don't love that. So if it wasn't for that, if it was a more cooler, more fun thing, maybe I would put it in S tier because aesthetically Spooky Swamp is a Spooky Swamp and it's pretty cool. Sergeant Bird's level, Sergeant Bird's base, I don't like this level, to be honest. Sergeant Bird is hard to control, and that level is kind of annoying. Finding all the gems in there is annoying. It's kind of just an annoying level. Is it enough to put into D tier? That's a little bit hard to say, right? Maybe I'll put it in D tier. Like, it's not to say like that's like it's such an unplayable mess, but it's just if you're asking me like which level I would like to replay the least, like it might be Sergeant Bird's level, because Sergeant Bird is just not that fun to control and you're doing an entire level, unfortunately. Icy Peak is pretty cool. No pun intended, but that came out of my mouth. Icy Peak is pretty cool. You know, the memories I have of getting those two thieves, supercharged thieves at the same time, and the supercharged track is pretty cool as well. I think it's an A tier level. It's just I have good memories for that. Bamboo Terrace, I love the aesthetic. So that's why I want to put it in A tier as well. Oh, I'm gonna put a lot in A tier. Bamboo Terrace, yeah, you get your first introduction to our Yeti there. Well, not normally, but you know, it's the first section, supposedly, that's possible. not intended, but no, I just like it aesthetically. Country Speedway, I guess D tier. There's nothing much about Country Speedway that appeals to me. It's a speedway, and it doesn't do much different than Mushroom Speedway. It doesn't already do. Um, Spike's Arena, I think, you know, all of the boss fights in Spyro 3 are more or less underwhelming. I guess Spike, but it's still, there's still boss fights, you know? I'm thinking if it's either B or C tier, but I think maybe B tier is fine. Yeah, let's just put it in B tier. I don't know. If I think about the other boss coming up, Scorch, I think Scorch is definitely better. Spike. I don't know. I'll just put it in B tier. It's okay. Fireworks Factory is a S tier level for sure. It is maybe too hard. It is maybe too hard in some aspects. Definitely, as me as a kid, that Agent 9 section was definitely too hard. Scared the hell out of me. However, that difficulty makes it makes it stand out for sure. It's an interesting challenge. It does some unique things, like a lot of respawning enemies and hard enemy placements. Aesthetically amazing. I think Fireworks Factory is just a great level. Absolutely a great level. But yeah, some people might be like, "Oh, it's too hard," and then or something, or I have bad memories because of that. Then yeah, sure, that's fine if it's lower. But for me, despite the childhood thing, it still ranks pretty high. It's very memorable. Frozen Altars, I want to put in A tier. The level itself is nice, but I think that the whole ice breath thing, you have an ice breath the entire level. It's a nice gimmick. It's fun to use. I think that's, yeah, it's good. Yeah, maybe the skating thing, not the skating mini game, not the greatest, but hey, you know. Um, I'm not taking in account the music that much because I can't remember every track perfectly. But I mean, all the music is great. This is what you have to know. Probably already know if you're watching this. All the Spyro tracks are great. Stuart Copeland did an amazing job in the trilogy. There's hardly a bad one in there. So don't don't think that I am doubting any of those tracks. Bentleys Outpost then. I think that's a. I think Bentley is kind of fun, but the level itself is kind of a tutorial level for him. It doesn't do much special, so I guess I'll put it in C tier. But I don't think it's especially doesn't really do anything wrong. It just teaches you how to use Bentley, and Bentley is quite okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. Honey Speedway, I like the aesthetic a lot more than most speedways, so that's why I definitely want to put it at least in C tier. Above Mushroom for sure. I could bump Mushroom down, but yeah, it's the first speedway, and this is a nice aesthetic speedway, so I like Honey Speedway aesthetically a lot. If it was just aesthetically, I would put it like at least A tier. But you know, I'm thinking about, like, it's still a speedway, and playing it is Charmed Ridge, I don't like that much. I think that's a C tier level for me. The Jack and the Bean section, I don't particularly like. The Witch section that's kind of fun, like a fun boss fight kind of thing. But the level itself is the wizards. They're kind of annoying. I don't know. Lost Fleet, I think it's a solid B tier level. I like the aesthetic. I like the acid thing, and I like the skateboarding. The skateboarding race is definitely the weakest of all the skateboarding things. But it's still fun. I think it's just a solid B tier level. Oh, I forgot the Homeworld. I forgot the Homeworld. We're in the third Homeworld, and I didn't place it yet. I think Evening Lake goes in A tier because of the evening aesthetic. Building the rocket is cool. There's the whale thing, going inside the whale for an egg. That's pretty great. It's pretty tight, but I like the underwater section and the underwater portals. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, Evening Lake is quite alright. Then we have Scorched Pit. I think Scorch is maybe the most interesting of all the boss fights. It does the most things. But is it like a really great boss fight? Nah, no. I think it's fine. The Spire bosses, they're adequate, if not a little underwhelming. But they do their job. I think they're more or less at around the same level. Yeah. I didn't do the Sparks levels yet. Maybe I'll do a couple now. The Crawdad farm. The Sparks levels in general, I think they're neat. The big gems are neat. The big, like, you're a small character, but you get so everything else is really big. I love that aesthetic. I love that gimmick. Picking up giant gems, fantastic. The shmup, the shooting thing is it's okay. It's something else. All the 4 levels are pretty similar in that aspect. But yeah, there's no platforming in there, you know. So you can't really say like, oh, they're that fantastic. But I think they're alright. So Crawdad farm, I think is C tier. Same with Spider Town. Maybe all of them are C tier. Although like it gets kind of annoying with the third one and the fourth one. So I kind of want to put them lower, but I don't hate on those levels that much. I don't know. I'll put them in D tier, but because kind of, yeah, I put them in D tier, but I don't hate these levels as much as I think a lot of other people do. Right. Then onto the final homeworld. Midnight Mountains. What do you think? Maybe already have an idea. Bam! Easy S tier. Midnight Mountains might be my favorite level in Spyro 3. Because of the music, because of the aesthetic, because it's a homeworld, because it's the final homeworld. Yeah, I talk about like not remembering all of the music because I'm a pleb fan, blah blah blah. But Midnight Mountain is one track I will definitely always remember. So that's definitely easy, one of the best, if not the best level. Yeah, for sure. Love it, love it, love it. And it has some great levels in the twos as we will get to it. Haunted Tomb, I think, is a cool level. It's a little bit too hard, but I feel like it has a very different feel than most Spyro levels. Maybe because it's like it has this ancient feeling and makes it feel like it's in the wrong kind of game, because Spyro games are more or less like mystical or something. I don't know. Oh, it feels different, and I like it. Dino Mines is a S tier level for sure. Why? should I say anything more than cowboy dinosaurs? Because I shouldn't. Those dinosaurs have guns. If that doesn't deserve S tier, then I don't know what does. The level itself is still fine and cool though. The Ancient 9 section is hard but cool. Yeah, definitely deserves S tier in my opinion. Agent 9's lab is, I think it's kind of a fun sandbox and kind of tutorial thing, but also it's a little bit annoying. It's, for me, it's like really memorable, but actually playing it, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in B tier. I don't know. I'm putting it in B tier. I don't know. Something about it makes me like it, aesthetically anyway. Yeah. Yeah, even though it's kind of short. Crystal Islands, aesthetically is one of the best levels in Spyro 3. It follows Midnight Mountains kind of a little bit closely. The crystal aesthetic it's not that as profound as in other Spyro games, but it does appear here and it's fantastic. I missed it very much. So it's definitely A tier, if not S tier. I think it's probably the best A tier level, maybe. I could argue for S tier, but if I look at the actual gameplay, there's that slide. There's that running around. You can fly around in that level. That's pretty cool. You can skip money bags. That's pretty cool. I don't know. It's just a very high A tier. I think that's where my feeling goes. But I love it. Desert Ruins. I think it's fine. B tier level. Doesn't do anything particularly wrong. The Sheila section is a little bit different. It's kind of 2D. Sure, I think it's fine. Then we have the Harbor Speedway. I don't know. I guess D tier also because it's yeah, it's in terms of speedway aesthetics. I think it belongs with country in the lower half, and yeah, honey and mushroom are a little bit higher. Yeah, sure. Then we have the sorceress layer. In terms of a final boss fight, as a boss fight, it's trash. You kind of have the eclipse thing, right? The background is kind of cool, but if we're really talking honestly, the sorceress is a cool character, but both the boss fight in itself and then the one in the super bonus worlds, it's bad, man. It's really disappointing, especially coming from Spyro 2, where the spiritual boss fight had so many cool things and phases, and here you just go into a thing and you just shoot her once and then she I don't like it, man. I guess I'll put it in D tier. I like the sorceress, right? So the sorceress character is good, very good, but the actual boss fight, oh man, that's really disappointing. Then we have an interesting one, the final one, the super bonus worlds. That one is hard, right? It's different. It's not purely gem collecting. So you do, it's like you do some challenges and the rewards are a lot of gems. And at the end, you don't really, I mean, the end of it, right? It's not, the end of it is what? You fight the sorceress again? And it's still not great? I don't know. As like, the concept of it is pretty fun, and you get sometimes get a lot of really high amount of gems from the thieves. But I think That giant portal looks so cool and ominous. Not ominous, but so exciting. Like, you really want to get in there. And I think for what's actually in there in the content, I think it's disappointing. Out of the 3 bonus worlds, you know, like Nessie's Loot and Dragon Shores, and this one I think is the weakest. Unfortunately. Something named Super Bonus Worlds, it seems like kind of a weird DLC episode if Spyro had DLC. Yeah. Though, yeah, you collect a lot of gems in it, which is definitely fun for sure. But yeah, that's basically it. What do you think? You disagree? You agree a little bit? You probably disagree. Well, good thing this tier list is available for. I think it's available publicly. Like, you can do it yourself, or share in the comments how you think I am wrong, very wrong. Feel free. But that'll be it for me. I guess I'll do a Spyro for one, quick one. Also as well, maybe I'll have to make the tier list myself as well. I'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.